And today was an important day, the opening day in the Maduro case, where both Nicolás Maduro and his wife were brought before the judge, and they were allowed to plead their innocence or their lack of innocence before a judge. They both pleaded not guilty, and Mr. Maduro made it very clear before the judge that he believes that he had been kidnapped and that he was still, at this time, the legitimate president of Venezuela. Now, if Mr. Maduro is found not guilty by a jury, of course, he will be set free. If he is found guilty, then he will spend the rest of his days in a federal prison along with his wife. So if we were to look at this from the United States viewpoint, then this is a case where it would be comparable, let's say, to Osama bin Laden. Okay? So Osama bin Laden is a terrorist. He has committed crimes against the United States. Therefore, in the view of the United States, they have a perfectly legitimate cause to detain him wherever or however they can to bring him to justice in the United States, or in the case of Osama bin Laden, to execute him and take him down, which is what they did. So under this logic by which certain criminal organizations, in this case, Cartel de los Soles in Venezuela, has been deemed a terrorist organization, the viewpoint is we are not looking at the president of Venezuela, we are looking at a terrorist under US law, and therefore we can detain him whenever or wherever we can. So the United States did not abduct him, but they arrested a terrorist, which is the frame of mind where the US is. Now, the defense is going to argue something very differently. They're going to say that a person who happens to be a head of state and should therefore have something called head of state immunity, which is a legal concept by which a head of state would not be detained by a foreign power for something charged in a foreign land, regardless of the gravity of the crime, while he is in office. And the United States is not a country that usually goes along with international law. They are a country that has its own framework. They are a very powerful country, and they usually act in a way that is justifiable according to the laws of the United States. So under these guidelines, what the United States did is justifiable. They have apprehended a terrorist, taking him into custody, and he's going to be in trial. There is one thing that is very telling about what happened. The fact that he is being arraigned in a court in New York in the Southern District is a sign that the DOJ believes that this case has great merit. The New York courts are tougher on the prosecution, but it also means that the real rock stars of the DOJ are in the Southern District of New York. The best of the best are the prosecutors there. So they wanted the best prosecutors, and they believe that they can take these charges before a judge who is going to be impartial and win. So it's an interesting sign. The US law and the international law here are at odds, as is usually the case. This is very common, where domestic law and international law butt heads.